Hey, it's Monday, March 17th. Word for you today, our devotional says the kids are watching you. The kids are watching you. You know, our kids watch, they're like sponges when they're younger. They just take everything in. And they see everything. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1 says, "Be imitators of God, therefore, as dearly loved children, and live a life of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and a sacrifice to God." Our devotion today mentions three things that children are watching about their parents. One thing our kids watch is how we treat others. Do we care about people? All people. Does it matter? Does it matter who the person is? Do we care about all people? If the only people we are around are people like us, then it's hard for them to see how to treat people and how to learn how to treat people who are different from us. So what can we do about that? Well, get involved in a non-church activity. Sports, music, a city activity. Get involved in something where you're around people who are different from you, where you have the opportunity to show these people love, just as you would people in your family or people in your church. Our kids are going to watch how we treat others. We have an opportunity to show them something. Another thing that they watch is our gratitude or our lack of gratitude. You know, oftentimes we don't realize how good we really have it. When we show gratitude for the little things in life, we teach our children to be grateful for everything. Be grateful being able to take a breath. Some people have trouble breathing. Be grateful for being able to move our arms and legs, for being able to see, to hear, to taste, to smell. Those are things you think we just take for granted often, but be grateful for those things. You see a sunrise or a sunset, you're talking to your children. Isn't that beautiful? Look what God did. So they watch how we treat others. They watch whether we're grateful or ungrateful. And the third thing, they watch how we treat our spouse. Do we make time for our spouse? You're showing your kids how to have a marriage. One way is to intentionally make time for each other. Our kids will watch and they'll catch more than we will teach them. We sit them down, I'm going to teach you something. When they just watch us, they're going to catch more than when we try to teach them. Years ago, there were two men. These two men were fishing off a pier. It was hot. The fish were just floating on the surface of the water and had no interest in biting because it was so hot. So they decided they would change what was on their hook and try to snag the fish, because fish were just kind of floating along the top, and they weren't interested in it. They put the bait right in front of them. They weren't even interested. So they decided to snag it. The only problem with that was there were signs up, and it was illegal to snag the fish. So they had one of them watching to see if a ranger was coming while the others were snagging the fish. And they got 6 or 8 fish, and then here comes the ranger. So they changed how they were fishing, and the ranger couldn't do anything about it. He could even see the marks on the side of the fish. He knew they were snagging them, but he couldn't do anything about it because he didn't actually catch them. But as the ranger was leaving, he noticed 2 young boys near them, and they were snagging the fish. The ranger says, "Hey, boys, don't you know it's illegal to snag fish?" The boys, of course, replied and pointed to the adults and said, "Well, they're doing it." They watched the men, and then they just imitated what they did. Folks, our kids are going to imitate us. They're going to watch us, and they are going to imitate us. So let's be sure that what we're doing is something we want them to imitate. Think about that today. Is there anything that I need to do differently in my life so when my kids imitate, or my grandkids, or my nieces or nephews, when they imitate me, it's something good? Have a good day.